Welcome back to The Collective Appreciation. I'm your host, Gunnar Anderson. I am a screenwriter, actor, producer, and published author living and working in Los Angeles, California. I'm also a certified personal trainer, and I'm an action figure collector, a big nerd, and I wear that badge very proudly. And those three things, the movie business, fitness and exercise, and action figure collecting, they make up what I consider my collective appreciation. So if you like any of those three things, or if you're like me and you like all three of them, consider subscribing. It's all we talk about here. Today, we are taking a look at 10 movies coming to theaters this year that you don't want to miss. 2026 is shaping up to be a huge year for the box office, which is something we in the entertainment business desperately need. With the movies coming out this year, some of which are on this list, we are poised for the biggest box office year since 2019. That's a big deal, guys. That's a really big deal. And there are some huge heavy hitters that aren't on this list. Like we have the live action Moana 2. The live action Moana. And then we have Jumanji 2, both coincidentally starring Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson. Those are going to be really big. They didn't quite make my list. I'm not personally that excited about them. Not to take away from anybody that is. But today we're talking about the ones that I'm most excited of. This isn't a definitive list. It's just my list. Also, it's worth noting, it's late March when we're recording this, so we don't know every movie that's coming out this year. So if you're aware of some that I've just totally missed on this list, drop it in the comments below. I'd love to know about it. Also, I'm not ranking these. I'm just going by release date. First up, The Drama, coming out on April 3rd. It's starring Robert Pattinson and Zendaya. A happily engaged couple is put to the test when an unexpected turn sends their wedding week off the rails. Okay, first of all, I love this cast. Both of these actors. So two of my favorite actors working today. You got Robert Pattinson, Zendaya, both top of their game. And this is going to be the year of Zendaya. We have The Drama. We have Spider-Man. We have Dune. We have Euphoria. I feel like I'm missing another one. But, I mean, that's plenty on its own. Anyway, this trailer absolutely hooked me. They introduced this little game where all the friends are playing the question, what's the worst thing you've ever done? And every friend answers. You don't hear anybody's response, but you can tell they're all kind of like, oh, I don't know. Oh, this one time. And then when Zendaya gives her answer, everybody's like, whoa, what is wrong with you? And the audience doesn't hear it, but you see all of their reaction, and it is bad. And it sends the wedding planning into a tailspin, and it just looks excellent. It's the kind of movie that I want to see coming back to the theaters. It's the kind that I miss going to see, this mid-budget dramedy. Let's bring those back in 2026. Next up, Lee Cronin's The Mummy. A young daughter of a journalist disappears into the desert without a trace. 8 years later, the broken family is shocked when she is returned to them, as what should be a joyful reunion turns into a living nightmare. This not only looks disturbing and terrifying, but it's one of those hooks that made me smack my forehead and say, why didn't you think of that? I'm jealous. Okay, I'm just lay that out there. I'm jealous. It's such a clever reimagining of the Mummy story, which God knows we have plenty of. And this does not have anything to do with the recently announced Mummy 4 with Brendan Fraser and Rachel Weisz. This is its own thing. This is a total reinvention. It just happens to have the same name as the Mummy. I think originally the script was called The Resurrection, but the studio decided to change it to The Mummy, put Lee Cronin's name in front of it. Now, I absolutely love what Lee Cronin did with Evil Dead Rise. He's one of those directors that can genuinely scare you and make you really unsettle and make you cringe, but you'll have fun while you're doing that, and I love it. I love it. I really liked Evil Dead Rise. Very, very fun movie. It was kind of a roller coaster horror movie, like a haunted house vibe. Like not that scary, but just scary enough to make it fun. But such a clever concept. Such a clever concept. So a kid that's been missing for 8 years is found in a 3,000-year-old sarcophagus. No idea how she got there. I'm in. Hooked immediately. I'm not going to lie. I'm excited for Michael on April 24th. I'm a sucker for a musical biopic, okay? Walk the Line, Bohemian Rhapsody, Ray, Walk Hard, the Dewey Cox story. I mean, I love them all. Michael, it's an interesting one because I do love his music, but he's such a controversial figure, and was accused of things that we definitely cannot talk about on this platform. So at the very least, it'll be interesting how they handle it, and I'm very curious how audiences are going to respond. But it looks like they spared no expense. It looks like the concert scenes are going to be truly epic, and I don't know. Our audience is going to be able to focus on the art and separate it from the artist? Because Michael Jackson's the latter half of his life was pretty fraught with controversy, and I don't know. I don't know how this movie's going to do, but I am excited to see it. Perhaps out of morbid curiosity. I don't know. We'll see. I think it's going to be really good, but we'll see. Mandalorian and Grogu on May 22nd. There's really not a lot to say about this one. Like, what can you say? We're 3 seasons into the show. I like the show. I'm excited for the movie. And it's hitting that perfect summer movie hype for me, where, like, I walk into Target and I see the new racks of Mandalorian and Grogu toys. And yes, I bought the new Mandalorian and Grogu. It is excellent. It's the best Mando figure we have yet. But it just it reminds me of just summer movies as a kid. You got Star Wars in the theater. What could go wrong? Masters of the Universe. This reminds me of Thor Ragnarok, and that's all I need. I really, really dig how they're leaning into the 80s nostalgia. I was not alive in the 80s, but I appreciate it nonetheless. And they're really leaning into the kind of the silliness, over the top, just kind of, this is going to be dumb, fun, and I mean that in the most respectful, best way possible. This reminds me of one of those movies that came out when I was a kid. I was hanging out by the pool, and it got too hot in the summer, and all of my friends were like, we don't want to sit by the pool. Let's go to a movie. And we'd all go to see, I can't think of an example, but you get probably one of the Pirates of the Caribbean movies or something like that. It feels like that kind of just spectacle that you just have to see in the theaters. All of these, man, they just feel so essential theater viewing. And I love that. I'm very excited for Masters of the Universe. Next up, Scary Movie on June 19th. This is Scary Movie 6, I want to say. This looks dumb as hell, but I won't lie. That trailer made me laugh out loud several times. I am in for the return of the raunchy comedy to a theatrical release, and I'm very, very curious how it'll do. It is no secret, and I am not stepping on any toes by saying audiences are a bit more sensitive nowadays, and they are going to make some jokes in that movie that are going to offend a lot of people, and I'm curious how it plays out. I'm on the fence. I think movies should be allowed to do that. I think audiences should be able to take it. I just think it's a very fine line to walk as a filmmaker or as a writer, where you have to, if you're going to pick on somebody, you have to pick on everybody. It's the South Park thing. That's why South Park gets away with it, because no one is safe. You cannot make fun of one group of people without making fun of every group of people. And I hope that the Wayans brothers nail that fine line really well. It looks like they're I have hope. Let's just say I have hope. And to see all of the returning cast, I used to watch these movies as a kid, and to see all of the cast back, I'm very excited. I'm very, very excited. And if it's as good as Scary Movie 3, we're in good shape. Also on June 19th, we've got Toy Story 5. Dude, I don't even need a trailer for this thing. I am there day one. Sorry, Scary Movie, but you're going to have to wait. This franchise has been a huge part of my life. I was a child when the first 2 came out, and then when Toy Story 3 came out, anyone who was in high school in the mid-2000s remembers Toy Story 3. That hit on such a deeply unexpected emotional hit. It was like a gut punch, because I was the same age as Andy was, or I was about to be. But in Toy Story 3, Andy is getting ready to pack up and leave for college. I think he does pack up and leave for college in that movie. And I was applying to colleges when I watched that movie. So we were kind of almost in that same era of life. And that movie was just so beautifully done that they got me so good with Toy Story 3. I was already in for Toy Story 4. I don't need anybody to tell me what's going to happen in Toy Story 5. I'm just there. I love this franchise so much. It's my favorite. This and The Incredibles are my two favorite Pixar franchises. I just love them both. The Invite on June 26th. Joe and Angela's marriage is on thin ice. When they invite their enigmatic upstairs neighbors for a dinner party, the night spirals into unexpected places. This is from director Olivia Wilde, and while I didn't love Don't Worry Darling, I can't deny it was a big swing, and I respect it. This is a remake of a Spanish movie that's apparently excellent, so I'm very curious on that alone, but also you throw Seth Rogen in there. I adore Seth Rogen. He can do no wrong for me. I'll watch anything he does. I think he's hilarious. I think he's really good for the business. And I think he has a really sharp head on his shoulders. He's just Seth Rogen, man. And I'm there for it. I don't need to explain that anymore. But yes, this is another dramedy coming to theaters, and I love to see it. Go support this movie. It looks great. The Odyssey on July 17th. After the Trojan War, Odysseus faces a dangerous voyage back to Ithaca, meeting creatures like the Cyclops, Sirens, and Circe along the way. I hope I said Circe right. This is Christopher Nolan's take on the classic epic, The Odyssey. Now, I love a good sword and sandals movie, and I haven't seen a good one in a long time. When I was in high school, I remember when Clash of the Titans came out. And I remember seeing it in theaters, and I just loved it. Just being transported to ancient times, seeing people with swords fighting some mythical creatures and a winged horse. I'm not saying the Odyssey is going to only be as good as Clash of the Titans. I think it's going to be a lot better. But I'm very excited. Christopher Nolan has become one of those directors. He is the star of his movies, right? He's what draws the audience in, and people show up. People showed up for Oppenheimer, a biopic about a physicist, and it made almost $1 billion. That's really impressive. Christopher Nolan, he's got the kind of zeitgeist that it takes to bring audiences out to a movie, and I think this might be his best movie. We'll see. I went and saw the first 5 minutes of it when I went to see Avatar. It's incredible. Let's leave it at that. It's incredible. I don't want to hype too much, but I mean, IMAX screenings sold out like a year ago. They went on sale like a year ago, and they already sold out for opening weekend. So that's crazy. The hype is going to be crazy for this movie. I think it's going to be worth the hype, but to be determined, I suppose. Spider-Man Brand New Day on July 31st. Now, I'm definitely a bigger fan of the Tobey Maguire Spider-Man movies than I am the Tom Holland movies, but I must say, this movie looks like it'll be the best of the series so far. It's giving me Spider-Man the Animated Series vibes, and that, obviously, a 90s kid, I'm there for that. And I'm not sure what the plot is, but it seems like they're hinting that Spider-Man may be turning into Man-Spider, and I am so down for that. I would love to see that. Also, this is another project with Zendaya, so the year continues for Zendaya. That's so awesome. Plus, if you're into fitness, Tom Holland, dude, his build is incredible here. He practically is Spider-Man. He's like flipping around on stage. He's absolutely jacked. This dude, he's nailing the character. I haven't liked the movies that much, but I really like his Spider-Man. I have since he appeared in Civil War. Also, it just looks like a lot of fun. It looks a little bit darker than the other ones, dare I say. And there's a lot of speculation that Daredevil might show up, and if Daredevil does show up, then we're finally getting Spider-Man, Punisher, and Daredevil on screen together. Please. It's another hot day at the pool movie for sure. August through October, there's not a ton listed yet, but if you're a horror fan like me, and the last couple years are any indicator, I think we're in for some really, really, really good stuff. I think we've got some goodies. Just hang tight. The last two on this list come out on the same day, and they are affectionately being titled Doomsday. We've got Dune Part 3 and Avengers Doomsday. This is this is interesting to me because it's definitely a bold move. They're leaning into the Barbenheimer of it all, right? The two competing blockbusters coming out on the same day. And I think they started early enough that it has a chance of kind of recreating that moment for sure, and they're certainly big enough franchises. The problem here with Barbenheimer or with Oppenheimer and Barbie, you had two very different audiences that were competing for who's going to see it on the day that it comes out. Here, these are going to have a lot of the same target audience. You've got sci-fi and you've got superheroes. This is going to be, it'll be interesting how it shakes out. I'm going to be doing a double feature for sure. Dune Part 2 is one of my favorite movies that has come out in the last decade. And Avengers Endgame, it might have been the most fun I've ever had in a theater. It was like being there opening night was like the Super Bowl for nerds. It was incredible. It was such a cool experience. I think, sidebar, they are releasing Avengers Endgame in the lead up for Doomsday, and I will be there for Avengers Doomsday, for Avengers Endgame, just to experience that again. But so far, the Dune 3 trailer is all we've seen, and it got me. I'll be there for Dune. As of right now, I'll be there for Dune first, and then Avengers Doomsday after that. And that might be, because Dune 3, I'm assuming, is going to be pretty dark. Avengers Doomsday might be a little bit like lighter feeling. I don't know. We'll see. We'll see. But it's really cool to see Marvel pumping out good projects again. They hit a lull for a while, but I loved Thunderbolts. I really liked Fantastic Four. And if the first episode of Season 2 of Daredevil Born Again is any indicator, it's off to an excellent start. But yeah, that's my list. Is there anything that I missed? Let me know in the comments below. Pre-order spotlight. There's no new pre-orders to discuss today, but I hate to admit it, I am strongly considering the Mezco 1/12 Batman the Animated Series figure, and that will mean, if I like that figure, then it would mean the Joker, and then they have Robin coming, and I think they have Catwoman coming. You see how this happens? But I don't know. I have such a soft spot for Batman the Animated Series. Anything that leans into that, I'm on a slippery slope already, so we'll see. I'll let you know. Anyways, guys, that's it for this week. Thank you, as always, for watching, and I'll see you next time. Bye.